I sit and I don't make a sound while I watch the speakers pound. Mom's shouting up to turn it down, 'cause I wake up half the town. But I don't hear a word that's said while the needle hits the red. Life's no fun and life is dull unless you turn the knobs up full. I like kicking up a racket. Certainly they did. Their first 3 albums, especially their fiery, aggressive, punk rock debut, Inflammable Material, in February 1979. And then the follow-up, Nobody's Heroes, was just as aggressive, just as hard-hitting. The third album, For Stiff Little Fingers, Ireland's first official punk band, Go For It, saw the band going in a little more melodic direction. Songs like Safe as Houses, Gate 49 and Silver Lining, which even added a horn section. They tried to be ska. Everybody was doing that. English beat, specials, it was going around the UK. Still, the aggressive, rebellious attitude of punk youth in the UK was prevalent on this one that Jake Burns and the band released 45 years ago this week, April 17th, 1981, on the Chrysalis label. In his not-so-ripe old age of 68, Jake Burns still likes to kick up a racket. He's gone through so many different lineup changes in Stiff Little Fingers, and he's been the only constant. Jake's very much focused not only on the punk rock scene as it enveloped, and as he and FSLF became a part of it in the late 70s and early 80s, but the Chicago music scene. He's lived in the city, Wicker Park to be exact, for over 10 years. Been married to a Chicago woman. So he's had access to book Stiff Little Fingers into some of the most legendary venues, from the Double Door to Metro. I've seen them at both. Kicking up a racket, watch the speakers pound, watch the max lights blink. That's an image I get every time I watch Catapult The Propaganda. The 3 members have gone their separate ways. One of them, in particular, bassist and singer Leah Colette, has made out quite nicely with All Outta Gum, which she put together just 2 years ago. But what about her other 2 ex-CTP bandmates? Robert Bloodworth, the guitarist and growling, screaming singer, and Skip Maskeri, the furious drum pounder. They too have put together a new band, a trio, Vows of Resonance. Just last year they started, after many different nights of putting together superstar jams at not only the former Miskatonic Brewing Company in Darien, but the Drunken Donut, aka Joliet Bakery. Skip, Robert, and new bassist Alex Ziech have been rocking the Drunken Donut with a sound that's not too far away from the aggressive, growling, and abrasive nature of Catapult The Propaganda. I have Robert and Skip calling in to let us know just how much, if any, Vows of Resonance differs from CTP. Both bands certainly kicked up a racket, and Vow of Resonance will again. The speakers will pound, the column speakers of the Marshall amps. The max lights on the mix console, they'll blink red when Vow of Resonance joins Mylph and a band who just celebrated 20 years with an ever-constantly changing lineup, but the constants are still there. Wicked Deception. Sunday, May 3rd at the Forge in Joliet. He sings up a racket and has, with whatever band he's lent his distinctive, growling, unclean vocals to, Cody Zupan, not only with F and Epic, we're going to hear something brand new from them. They just released a brand new 3rd studio album, and Cody's other band, Dead and Buried, comes alive once again. How did I let this one slip under the radar? Many a veteran and even up-and-coming, undiscovered Chicago punk band hopes to slingshot their way back into the dingy, scummy, totally appropriate setting of Exit. There's been talk of remodeling it, there's been talk of putting together a massive reunion concert, and he who created the Punk Rock Tacos name, brand, and 75 shows at various venues, but mostly Semadas, Poblanis, and Villa Park, Noah Corona, he's talked about a huge reunion show of Exit. So far that hasn't gotten off the ground. Still in the planning stages. A decade ago this week, Catapult The Propaganda was planning to sling-shoot their way onto the dingy stage and the upper foundation crumbling surroundings of Exit, and I was there to capture it all. When I had all 3, Skip, Leah, and Robert, extending broken limbs, crooked smiles, and making a not-so-sorrowful entrance into Exit one last time. Local Loft episode 426. Blinking, pounding, kicking, screaming, an excessively loud, racket-inducing good time, always guaranteed, for the original Chicagoland metal, punk, alternative rock, and power pop scene through every episode of this podcast.
Yes, we are Vow of Resonance, so first show. Get inside! Welcome to another fantastic edition of Electric Wednesday. Let's have a great night, everybody.
About 7 years since I last saw you, Leah, and Skip Catapult The Propaganda in Oak Lawn, but
Yes, sir.
we're coming up on the 10th anniversary when I interviewed you all from Exit.
Right on. It's been a long,
And
man,
now-
it doesn't feel like that long, right?
No, time has really gone by, and now you got Vow Of Resonance going here, and I just want to find out how you put this thing all together. I do know about what happened with Leah. It was kind of a physical thing. Her hands, they stiffened up from bass playing. She had trouble doing it, and I guess
Right.
was that the reason why the band started to fall apart? Catapult The Propaganda.
I think that, you know, there was several things. There was never any hard feelings between anybody. It's just life happened, man. I had just had my son. She had some things going on. She was moving, and it's just kind of like we just kind of drifted apart. It was never anything like official, like, hey, we're not going to jam anymore. Actually, I had a side project going, Machete Moses, with a good friend of mine I went to high school with. We were scheduled to play a show at Delmo's, and he wasn't ready for the show, and I could tell he wasn't ready. So I called those guys up, and we practiced 2 times, and we fucking nailed it, man. It was great. It was a great feeling to play with them again.
Well, I did see YouTube footage of your first gig with Vow Of Resonance, which was at the Drunken Donut in September of last year. He's been keeping himself busy, mostly in like jam sessions there, the Wednesday night jam nights. I've seen Skip doing video photography for a couple of different gigs. Celebration gig that was at the Forge In Joliet last September, which I went to and which I covered for local Loft. Had
Right on.
Colleen Wild and the Haunted and a couple of other bands. Skip was actually doing video for that. But
Skip is a big supporter of the scene. He is. He's very talented, and he's a man of many hats.
yeah, he's been doing like jazz band jam sessions at the Drunken
Exactly.
Donut. But let's talk
And
about
he's-
your
he's-
bass player, Alex. How did you get in touch with him? How did he come into Vow Of Resonance?
Oh, he's awesome, man. Like, he actually does the open mic nights and the super jams at the Donut. He's like the guy who sets everything up. And I guess him and Skip had known each other for a while, and it was kind of in the back of Skip's mind, hey, it would be cool for all of us to play together. I guess he was thinking of it before anybody else was, and Skip and I were just kind of jamming in my living room every other weekend or once a month just to have fun. And then when we actually put some songs together, of course we got that itch, man. We play, man. We want to play out in front of people. We had several different bass players over, and Alex is just, man, he's good. It was just the right fit. You know that feeling when you jam with people and you guys don't even have to have a set direction and you can just feed off of each other.
Welcome to another fantastic edition of Electric Wednesday. Let's have a great night, everybody.
Yeah, if it just clicks right from the start,
Exactly.
even though you haven't really rehearsed together or played together, yeah, if it's musically, if it's clicking, yeah, just go with it. I know that feeling right away, Robert. I want to ask you about how you feel your singing style has changed in Vow of Resonance as compared to CTP, because I've always known you for that angry, growling, authoritative lead vocal. I don't really think that's changed. As far as the music goes, maybe it's a little less funky here in Vow of Resonance, more heavy, certainly more hardcore than funky, as opposed to a Catapult The Propaganda. What's your take on it all? How's your singing style changed, do you think?
I just feel like I'm finding my voice. I guess it took me like forever, years to realize that I'm a baritone, you know, or like a deeper singing comes naturally to me. So I'm trying to sing, you know, a lot of parts clean with this band, and I still like to throw some distortion on like here and there because I always love that. I want to explore, you know, I want to see, you know, different ranges. Like people that I love to hear are people like Chris Cornell or Phil Anselmo or Lane Staley, you know?
Exactly.
Those are the guys, and they hit some beautiful notes sometimes. And, you know, like Phil, like he'll hit like the heavy stuff. But it's just, I'm still exploring, and I want to grow. I always want to grow. I'm never in a place where I think, oh, I got it. Bullshit. As musicians, we're forever students.
Yeah, it's just like in radio, being an on-air personality for over 35 years, you're always looking to improve.
Exactly.
Well, I can say that while I missed the vocals Leah did, the growling vocals, which augmented your authoritative and your rather angry vocal delivery in CTP, you haven't lost it. The vocal style, the energy is still there. The fire is still there. So I'm really looking forward to the first album by Vow of Resonance when you guys get that out. Is there going to be a tour? Are you planning any tour dates? Or are you just going to stick with some more open mic nights at the Drunken Donut?
First off, I appreciate that on the vocals. I'm always pissed off, so that'll probably never go away. But secondly, you know, I don't think we got any plans to tour or anything right now. We're just kind of, you know, announcing ourselves out on the scene. We love the scene out here. You know, we want to play with the other bands, some really talented bands out here, and we're going to see where it takes us.
It's definitely, you got a great future ahead of you, and a very tight future too. Just the chemistry between you and Alex and Skip really is.
Oh, these guys are good, for sure.
So, Robert, wish you all the best, and did hear about the emergency with your father, and I wish him a speedy recovery.
His kidneys are healing.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, because I lost my father to bladder cancer 2 years ago. I know how scary it can get.
Yeah, I told him, I said, hey, you know, we need to see more of each other now. Because he got to spend time with his father at the end. And I told him, I said, we need to spend more time with each other. You need to know your grandkids more. Because family is all we have at the end of the day. That's what we live for.
Well, Robert, it's been a really long time, and I appreciate you taking time to talk to us about the new band, Vow of Resonance, and it really looks like it's going to get off the ground. It's really going places.
It's in our veins. Thank you, sir.
Robert Bloodworth, a former singer and guitarist of Catapult The Propaganda, now singer and guitarist of Vow of Resonance, along with Skip Maskeri and Alex Ziech, or is it Ziech on bass?
Ziech, I believe. I always give him shit. I call him Geezer Butler.
Nice comparison and definitely nice inspiration there. You do have kind of a little Black Sabbath doomy metal going on there. And to find out more about Vow of Resonance, you can go to their Facebook page. Robert, thank you once again.
Thanks, Tim. Good to hear from you.
Outta Bass before All Outta Gum. Something that's truly missed in the transition from Catapult The Propaganda to Vow Of Resonance. Well, Leah Colette, of course. Not to say that Alex Ziech is any slouch of a bass player. He's not. I'd have to say, though, that a very similar groove is cut between what CTP laid down and what VOR lays down. But Leah totally has expanded her musical horizons, not being a bassist, but a guitarist, especially lead singer. As I found out from Robert, of course, they still definitely keep in touch and even trade musical ideas back and forth between him, Leah, and Skip Maskeri. Skip, who's played in a number of freeform jazz bands and even been part of super session of sorts, a super open mic session at Drunken Donut, Joliet Bakery, most every Wednesday. Vow Of Resonance has, apart from the Drunken Donut gigs, the first one they did in the summer of 2025, they have yet to put together a tour schedule or even release an album. That's still forthcoming. All Outta Gum, however, still working on their first self-titled debut album, and no date on when that's going to specifically be out. More gigs coming up, mostly over the Illinois-Indiana borderline, Wednesday, May 13th at Hobart Arts Center in Hobart, Indiana. If you don't want to motor that far on the Illinois side, on Saturday, September 5th, All Outta Gum, along with Lucas Thoreau and Wolf Dozer in Peatone. I will most certainly be interviewing Leah Colette and All Outta Gum at that time. Stay tuned to future episodes of Local Loft. Although he's been concentrating a lot, in fact, most of his time, to F and Epic, his first band with brother Travis and Drew Bittner, Cody Zupan hasn't forgotten his other bands. He's put Extraction Point on hiatus ever since they played a couple of gigs last year in support of Hold Fire, which was their brand new single at the time. Dead and Buried, however, it's been a 6-year period that Cody has put them on hold. That's about to change. They have a couple of gigs coming up, including one on April 28th at Magoo's Bar and Grill in Bedford Park, 5 minutes away from Midway Airport. Dead and Buried also released their first new single in 6 years, and if you're trying to find out just how different this is from anything Cody did with F and Epic vocal-wise, well, it's pretty much the same. Although on F and Epic's brand new one, You Will Die, which they released back in early February, there seems to be a melodic vocal or two working its way in to kind of diversify the sound. Not to say that F and Epic has given up their gritty, overall hardcore metal sound. Not at all. Dead and Buried certainly amplifies and brings up close and in your face Cody's growling, grunting, unclean vocal. I almost forgot about it until just now, so let's make up for it. Inhumane, released in November of 2025. We have it for you here now. Dead and Buried, brand new, and catch them Saturday, April 28th at Magoo's Bar and Grill in Bedford Park, Local Loft.
Keep moving. This is Hunting Ground.
Cody Zupan is everywhere. He's like a metal Elvis, although Cody's not dead. One of his bands may be dead and buried.
you're here, still here, fucking having a good time with you guys. We appreciate it. Appreciate you here right now. We are F and Epic from right here in Kankakee. Next one is that nod to Green Day. This is Brain Stew, not Grain Stew. Check it out.
It's for all the platforms, and yeah, they basically what basically we're going through. I think so. Yeah. And they oh, sorry about that. Everybody's working from home. Yeah, we're gonna have to push it back.
Well, it kind of took the wind out of our sails, you know, like for the whole album we released it, it's like, then everything shut the fuck down, it's like, alright, well, but we still played it live, still.
In perfect thrashing harmony, yes, there are vocal harmonies in hardcore metal, at least where F and Epic is concerned. The Kankakee-based four-piece thrash metal band does add, along with Cody Zupan's very authoritative, powerful, and meaty, low-throated, unclean vocal delivery, you do hear harmony vocals that are rather clean, high-pitched, and emotional, augmenting Cody's vocals on at least 2 tracks of their 3-track new EP, You Will Die. Didn't hear it on Face It, the second track there, but on Brain Spew, not Brain Stew now, no Green Day imitation here, and Dead. F and Epic dropped their 3-track third EP on all streaming platforms back in mid-March, and in the planning stages, a September 5th show in Piatone, along with fellow Kankakee Southern Fried Metal band Wolf Dozer and All Outta Gum, featuring former Catapult The Propaganda bassist and singer Leah Colette. To keep up with what's going on with FM Epic, go to EPHIN Epic, that Facebook page. Perfect harmonies are ringing throughout the rafters and the atmosphere over at Montrose Saloon. It began Friday, it goes till Saturday. International Pop Overthrow. Before we hear from a familiar four-piece power pop band out of Zion, Illinois, who's never been on the bill at IPO, and I'm doing this as a Record Store Day hangover. Not every act playing IPO 2026 at Montrose Saloon speaks jangly guitars and vocal harmonies. There are vocal harmonies prevalent in the music of River Rats, but the four-piece band has more of a grungy and punk nature to them. I certainly think even grunge, the mid-90s, and acts like Sponge and Hole come to mind. Not so much the Beatles, Badfinger, or even Material Issue. River Rats takes the stage right before Space Age Zeros tomorrow night, April 21st at IPO 2026 at Montrose Saloon. River Rats from over the Illinois-Indiana borderline at the land of the Golden Dome, South Bend. It's the final track off the River Rats' recently released fourth EP, Son of Dad. It was released on March 20th. Ode to Slow. River Rats. Tuesday night at International Pop Overthrow 2026 here on Local Loft.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yes, come on. Thank you very much. It's been a while since we've been out there, so
Don't say goodbye, 'cause you're the one that I need. Don't say goodbye, you know you're special to me. All the time, tell me why. All the time, I can't show what I feel. Do you know what I mean? I get restless inside in the night. Why do you say, wait till tomorrow night? How can I wait until tomorrow night? Don't let it die. Just say to me that you'll try. Don't let it die. Please think it over tonight. All your love is enough. All your love, it's so hard to tell. Though I know you so well, if you'd show me, then I'd know for sure. How do you feel about tomorrow night? It could be real, so right tomorrow night. Don't say goodbye, 'cause you're the one that I need. Don't let it die, you know you're special to me. All your love is enough. All your love, I can't show what I feel. Do you know what I mean? I get restless inside in the night. Where will we be this time tomorrow night? Will it be me you love tomorrow night? What will you say tomorrow night? How can I wait tomorrow night? Ooh, just a few more hours. Will it be me tomorrow night? Tomorrow night. How do you feel tomorrow night? Why do you say
It was Bob Dylan who once sang Tomorrow is a Long Time. Tomorrow night became a long time. Long time for Zion, Illinois' own Shoes to find their footing. That one found its footing 3 years after it was re-recorded the year after that original version on the California-based indie label Bomp Records. They re-recorded it for their major label debut Present Tense and Elektra, and then got discovered with 4 music videos of songs from that album on MTV's first day, August 1st, 1981. Again, tomorrow seemed like a long time. And it took me a long time to find that original version on 7-inch 45 vinyl. But I did at my favorite countryside Chicagoland record collector show not too long ago. A record store day hangover. Maybe you were lucky to find that one at your local record store hangout the same way I did. Bela Lugosi's Dead, the original 12-inch Small Wonder vinyl single from Bauhaus yesterday. Tomorrow won't seem like a long time away for Wrathhammer. The melodic progressive metal band out of Northwest Indiana joins the recently reunited for their 20th anniversary Wicked Deception Mylph, who provided quite extensive support for Tractor Boy at their Midwest Loud album release show last month in McCook, Nekranova, and Vow of Resonance, featuring former Catapult The Propaganda singer-guitarist Robert Bloodworth and former CTP drummer Skip Maskeri. Sunday, May 3rd. Wrathhammer, one of 2 bands to come out of near the land of the Golden Dome, Notre Dame, South Bend. Actually, Wrathhammer's a little further than that, just on the tip of the Illinois-Indiana borderline. With Wrathhammer, you get the best of both worlds. You like your metal old school, not as non-clean or grunting or intense. Judas Priest's Metal Church King Diamond? Well, that high-pitched lead vocal works its way into Wrathhammer's music. Then again, so does the screaming, unclean, modern-day metal vocal. From Portage, Indiana, the vocal interplay between guitarist-singer Justin Wilbanks and rhythm guitarist, lead vocalist Nate Cox is just impeccable. Extremely awesome here. The title track to Wrathhammer's second full-length album, Game Tu Alma. say this new one is as political as Balance, maybe more so or less so?
ADHD much. There's a word that I want that I can't access in my brain at the moment, but it's more, especially from the Ivan's perspective, I feel like there's a lot more like issues that are more personal, I feel like, on this record. I think that other people will be more like identified to things that are happening to all of us in all our homes and families.
What a balance of power that is. It starts out rather quiet, but builds up, and then the explosion in the middle from Steve Sherwood of Wolves, truly testing the dynamic range limits of vinyl. Well, at least on that one, because I played it off an LP. And I had to make sure my trusty audiophile Audio-Technica LP 120 DJ turntable was up to the task, stylus and cartridge-wise, and it was. Of course, that's a recent 180-gram virgin vinyl pressing, if I'm not mistaken. Just another record store day hangover. That's one you'd have to search far and wide to find. I was at Blue Village Vinyl in Westmont yesterday, and I did manage to find not that, but a copy of the most recent M&R Rush LP copy of Goodbye City Lights, which was their most recent one. But that one I got exclusively from Steve Sherwood, Yvonne Cruz, and John Kopit from Of Wolves when they played Punk Rock Tacos in August of 2023. Every day is record store day if you've got that collector's blood inside of you like me, whether vinyl or CD or even cassette. And I surely would like to add your original music to the local Loft collection. Make it the true balance of whatever genres and whatever intensity or quietness there is in putting your music together. Get me Tim Lamping your music, MP3 wave or FLAC, or CD vinyl LP, cassette, reel-to-reel tape, timlamp1@yahoo.com, timcatdj@gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll send you a mailing address before you send me any physical things. Download every episode of Local Loft on podbean.com. Stream it on YouTube with the Podbean app. So they're moving out of the politically charged nature that was so prevalent in Catapult The Propaganda. The funk meets hard rock, groove noise, they haven't left that. Skip Maskeri and Robert Bloodworth, and my thanks to Robert for taking the time out to talk with us about his new trio, Vow Of Resonance, which makes its way to the Forge In Joliet on Sunday, May 3rd. But it was 10 years ago this week, Robert, Skip, and Leah Colette on bass and backing vocals were certainly making quite a noise. At Exit, the legendary, dingy, hanging by a thread, living on the edge, at least it looked that way, punk club on Chicago's North Side. Exit has since made an exit from the Chicago music scene. There's talk of getting it back together. Noah Corona is still working on that. This all-star benefit concert, too. Back when you could still make an entrance into Exit and see many an intense hard rock band rock it up. April 24th, 2016. Intense weather kept me away from Semitas Populanis in Villa Park on Friday night for my chance to see my old friends in ADD. Due to threatening tornadic and torrential rainfall situations, I had some water in my basement I had to take care of. I wasn't able to make it. But I will be making it down to J.J. Kelly's in Lansing for the Rising Fall for Local Loft 427. I'll see you down there next Saturday, April 25th.
This next song is called I Hate.
Tim Lamping, and I'm just out the front door at Exit on North Avenue. I have with me one of the most dynamic heavy rock bands ever since I first heard their self-titled full-length CD, which was almost 2 years ago. They have never failed to deliver. Now, they are even heavier. They rock even harder on a brand new 5-track EP called Hell Passed By. Catapult The Propaganda out of Joliet, and we have all three members for the first time here. I interviewed Skip and also Robert back in our studios at the Cat 105.5, but now we have the dynamic bass player Leah Colette as well, and also vocalist. I want to know how you think Hell Passed By is different from that first self-titled record.
We got a really tight sound this time around. You know, that's what we're looking for, a really polished sound, and I think we accomplished it and kept the groove and kept it heavy.
With the first album, I think we wrote a lot of the songs over the course of a couple years, and then it all got kind of hodgepodged, if you will, into one package, whereas this one was kind of written within a couple months of each other. So I think the overall feel of the album, or EP rather, it sounds like an album now, I guess.
Leah, how do you think this is different?
I think this time around we were a lot more comfortable as a band. We were, the first album was kind of the first time we ever actually recorded separately in an actual studio. So this time around we had some experience and we kind of had a better idea of how we wanted it to sound and how we wanted it all put together. So in my opinion, this album sounds a little bit more like us, whereas the first album was kind of more us trying to find ourselves still.
Now you say this is more polished than the first album. Do you think it sounds more polished on stage? Is there a difference between what you do on stage and what you do in the recording studio?
Song-wise, as far as playing live, I think it's all the same, honestly. They definitely have a different feel, so I prepare myself with different rudiments as far as the drums are concerned for the different songs that we play now. Older songs, I practice other rudiments. They definitely have a different feel drum-wise for me. As far as live is concerned, though, it's all the same feeling overall for me.
It feels like the more shows that we play, the more comfortable we are.
For sure.
The chemistry between you three is incredible. It always has been. I mean, you're like a conveyor belt. One just feeds off the other, and you have such a solid groove all the way around. Is there going to be another EP, or maybe you're going to expand this into a full length?
We're definitely planning on it. I mean, we're having a great time going and playing shows and working on music, and I couldn't be happier.
Go to their Facebook page, Catapult The Propaganda, and check out the show list. One of the shows they will be playing is May 21st, Saturday, at the Chicago Metal Alliance Bash. That's at Star Bar in Chicago Ridge.
You still don't have what you need. Look at yourself, you're not who you wanted to be. Oh, I wish you had a light, I wish you knew the way. Look at yourself, you're not who you wanted to be. Die!